Bhaskar Raghunathan, founder, DataSee.AI. DataSee, through the use of visual analytics, enhances the efficiency and productivity in various industrial and commercial sectors. The startup solution, through a powerful combination of artificial intelligence, big data, and machine learning, significantly enhances decision-making abilities. DataSee is currently focused on applying its solutions to the renewable energy, agriculture, and utilities sectors. When you don't see Bhaskar at his computer, you are likely to see him teaching math to college students. Bhaskar from DataSee.
Thanks, Nasi. Quick short intro, appreciate it. I think you were able to dig through a lot of our website and LinkedIn, and it was nice. I think a very quick short summary, thanks. So a quick background about what we do at DataSee. I'll probably dig into details of what is that we are doing and how we landed up in solving problems for utility scale. It's a complete enterprise product that we have. We've been in this business for 5 years now. And to say that we are profitable and doing really well in the last 3 to 6 months right now, I think it's been a lot of good effort that's been coming in from a culmination of 5.5 years. So DataSee is basically a geospatial image analytics platform that helps industries in the renewable energy space, primarily utility scale PV and wind energy companies, to better manage their assets. And we use drones and satellite image data to process information, identify how an asset is performing in the earlier stage. Now, just to give a background about what I do, I don't come from the energy background. I don't come from the software background. All I know is fundamentals of math. I know that there was a need in the industry when we started using drones per se. Come from a mechanical engineering background, and I was with automotive majors, handling a lot of crashworthiness for vehicles at the R&D level, providing them with digital human models. That was the background, doing a lot of image processing and data visualization. Post which, we wanted to build something that's largely engineering driven, and we wanted to understand how data is being handled by infrastructure companies. When I say data, I'm talking about data that's not commonly seen with the everyday use, right? I'm talking about infrastructure companies in the highway space, in mining, in renewable energy, when solar PV was actually picking up. I'm talking about 2010, 11, the early stages of utility PV picking up. And when I say utility PV back then, was in India, it was primarily 10 megawatts and 12 megawatts. That was the scale, right? And now you don't see anything less than 1 gigawatt, right? So at those early stages, we were trying to understand what could be used and how data is being managed. The only aggression was we wanted to build more plants. How do we monitor? What are we going to do with the data? Is it going to have the long life of 20 years or 25 years? Nothing was seen, right? Now, how do we kind of collate all this information? What is the mechanism and mode that they use currently to actually handle these assets efficiently? And that's when we were thinking, we looked at industries that already use similar data. So we started looking at agricultural industries, right? We're talking about input seed companies like your Monsanto, Bayer, and Syngenta. They use a lot of satellite image data to actually do historical prediction for yield, right? Because drones were not there back then, but Syngenta has been there for 40 years, right? Monsanto has been there for 40 years. So what we did efficiently was do a lot of research in identifying how businesses have actually evolved when there was no data present, right? So we started looking at how data could be used. So if you look at our initial set of projects and customers that we had, we were looking at how agricultural industries could benefit, large-scale infrastructure companies could benefit with respect to data. So our initial projects in the space where we were kind of called as a drone image analytics company and not an energy company per se, or probably a climate tech company. So what we wanted to foray was look at how drones could be used for day-to-day use for industries, and how we could do some fundamental projects on mapping and highway mapping and mining, and those are the common applications. Now that's, you throw a stone in Chennai or in Bangalore, you will find 100 drone companies, right? I mean, that's how the current scenario is. 6, 7 years back, when Amazon started with their drone delivery, everywhere there was a noise. I'm talking about 2015, 16, but the delivery space is still not there. We'll talk about that later. So what happened was drones could be used, but we wanted to look at how efficiently data could be built into a software product that could streamline their day-to-day operations, right? That was the key use case. And that came from one of our marquee customers way back in 2018. And that customer had to be one who had the vision towards innovation-driven products, right? I mean, you can't go to anybody as an industry whose focus is primarily on business-driven scaling rather than using products, and it would not be a cutting-edge solution, but they would want to understand, okay, can I use some amount of technology to kind of drive a lot of innovation, and can I use this product to actually better my process? Right. So way back in 2018, when we did a small, I would say, a proof of concept to that particular customer, we were able to showcase value, won a customer, and then after that, we were super happy from a DataSee perspective. Okay, we got one customer. I think we've got a good business running through. Let's run through the scale, and we started building this. Now, when we kind of do this and then we speak to a few other customers, they come back with a serious point. Okay, I find the need, the solution looks very attractive, but I don't see cost savings happening, right? I don't see cost savings happening. I don't see solutions being used as the way to run my business. So if you look at any business owner, the people whom we spoke to in the utility scale, everybody wants super fast growth. But the problem is, at what cost, right? Am I looking to, so if you look at every single developer here, I mean, I'm talking about the Acmes and Renews and Azure Pass and SoftBank Energy, you talk all these big companies, they would want super rapid growth, and at the end of 5 years or 6 years, they would want to sell all these assets. Right? It's not that they would want to run the long run of 20 years or 25 years. Just build it, make some good efficiency from the asset, sell it off to someone so that we can move. Right? Now that attitude is significantly changing right now because people are looking at long-standing and I mean they see the foresight on should I run my asset for the next 15 years or 20 years? If I'm going to run that, what efficiency do I have? Do I have the right tools and the right O&M partners with me and the right set of engineering teams with me such that when I build the asset now, will it stand the test of time for 20 years, right? That dawn, I think, has been happening only for the last 3-4 years. It's not been there since 2010-11. So, biggest utility projects that came in 2015. Till then, utility projects was 10 to 15. And when SoftBank Energy made a huge entry into the India market, they started off with 300 megawatt projects. 150, 400, and you would see the power plants in Kadapa, the power plants in Badla, you would see 2 gigawatt solar park, 8 gigawatt solar park, 7 gigawatt solar, no small sizes at all. Why? And they gave the impetus that they would want to come big into the industry, and that created a huge noise in the market, right? Now everybody started getting interested. So Renew wanted to do something, Azure wanted to do something, right? Siemens Gamesa was the predominant EPC for most players. Mahindra Sestet wanted to do something. So what gave us one big impetus into the market, drives the entire market into a frenzy. Now everybody wants to start doing this. Now where we fit in this ball game, right? When we do an assessment with one particular customer and we get a win from that customer, you take it out to another customer. Unfortunately, that customer's business principles is not the same as the other one, right? So you will have to kind of fine-tune, customize your solution to this customer, but unfortunately you can't change your product completely, right? So how do you find a mid-ground? How do you find a validation for your solution, right? So we said, okay, we give you a solution. So one of our customers, when we actually won this in SoftBank Energy, was our first customer. When we won this with them, they said, okay, this is really good, but I don't see value add in your solution. When I say value add, I'm not able to save something. It's beautiful. It's engineering wise, it's very nice. We are able to see, we are able to take some decisions. But I don't see cost savings, right? Typically in an Indian market, it's either you have a super high-tech solution or I can use people to replace the solution, right? That's always the misnomer in India and in China. I use software or I use people. So people can solve what software can do. And still in India, the scenario is people don't pay for software. If you go to most of the organizations, it's still a pirated Windows or probably a pirated MS Office. You can find it in most organizations. It's a de facto norm, right? Everybody knows that. Now, how do we kind of break this barrier from a software perspective and that to an enterprise-grade software? I'm talking about Oracle kind softwares. I'm talking about Primaveras. I'm talking about large-scale Autodesk as licenses. You will have to spend millions of dollars. And we are trying to disrupt that particular space, right? And you are talking about engineers and industries who have been there, done billions of dollars of business, and I'm trying to, okay, I'm building a project management software. It's like, why? There are 10 people out there, why should I come to you, right? So that's where we are hitting it right now, and thankfully, we have got a very nice product right now. It's a beautiful suite and a platform that we have got validated with not just one customer, two customers, we got 28 customers. Right, across the globe. Sitting in Chennai, we are able to sell this to India, we are selling it in Middle East, we are selling it in the US, we are selling it in Europe, we are selling it in Africa also, right? Now, these are all with multiple customers who have presence across all these nations. Now, the value add that we identified when we started selling the solution was, how do we go towards a key, I would say a key KPI that would define where the cost savings are. So when we went and met customers and we spoke to them, the first part of the solution was, the moment we say drones, the glamour is always there, it sells. But at the end of the day, when I give them the pricing, it's like, oh, it's too expensive. I can't afford you right now. That's the immediate question, right? So how do we break that barrier? So we started looking at, where do they have a problem where my technology can actually solve that solution, right? So we started looking at some fundamental issues. Every single solar PV plant that was getting built, primarily looking at how quickly they can monitor these and measure the construction accuracy at the site. That was the primary goal that they wanted. Now, there was no engineering that was being done at that level, right? So they know that there are supervisors, project managers, project management companies that are operating. They just build the solution and then they move ahead. There are people on the site. But do I have 100% sampling of the entire site that's being engineered? And that's where we come in. We were able to build and showcase a platform and start doing centimeter level measurements only from image data, and then give them value at that particular detailing. So when we started showing this to a few customers, they were actually able to correct the engineering on the ground in itself, as and when. So when the drone is actually flying, we collect the data. The same day we provide your results. The next day on the platform, you actually see what's actually happening. So the engineering manager at the site can speak to the construction supervisor and ask him to correct the construction on the ground. Now, this was happening at scale at multiple locations, not just in India. So sitting in Chennai, I can look at a plant in Saudi Arabia. Sitting in Chennai, I can look at a plant in Africa. I can do the same thing in Texas, or probably in any of the interland of the country where there is a solar PV plant present, right? So that was the focus. So with this idea in mind, when we started scaling this with almost all our customers right now, we found a good product market fit, right? Now, when we identified a solution and it's being defined with almost every single customer, that's when we felt that, okay, our solution is going to be here for the long haul. And thankfully, we are right now, we'll be handling close to 9 gigawatt of assets in the next coming year. We are targeting at least 20 to 25 gigawatt of assets by 2024. Our target is how efficiently, without having any invasive sensor or people on the ground, just use image data and provide a geospatial angle towards better asset management. That's the focus. Any questions? I'm open. Thanks.